we are going to look at factorization when the coefficient of x is not equals to 1. In the previous lesson, we learned how to get the factorization when the coefficient of x is 1. So we describe the quadratic expression as a squared, general quadratic equation, bx plus c. So in this case, we are saying x is not equals to 1. And not or x is not equals to 0, a is not equals to 0, because when it is 0, then it is no longer a quadratic expression. In the previous lesson, we learned that for us to factorize a quadratic equation, we needed two numbers such that when you multiply them, when you add them, you get the coefficient of x, which is b, and when you multiply them, you get the constant. In this one, it is different. What we do is that for us to be able to factorize, we multiply a multiplied by c, that will give us ac. AC, that is the coefficient of x squared multiplied by the constant. Once you get that, then you get two numbers such that when you add them, m plus n, that should give you the coefficient of x, which is b, and when you multiply them, you should be able to get the constant a, the value that the product of AC. So that's the difference. But maybe you understand better when we do an example. So I want to first of all, let us expand. Because factorization is a reverse of expansion, then we can be able to see what is the reverse. So I'm going to expand these two factors. We have 4x plus 3, and we have 2. That is 2x plus 2. So when you expand that, just like we did with the other one, we said that this is 4x multiplied by 2x, that will give us 8x squared. 8x squared. Then we multiply 4x multiplied by 2, that will give us 8x. Then we multiply 3 multiplied by 2x, that will give us plus 6x, and finally we multiply 3 multiplied by 2, that will give us 6. So that is that will give us 6. So you note that here, like we did in the previous example, here we have two numbers, 8 and 6. But here in our expression, we have 3 and 2. So you note that if you multiply 8 multiplied by 6, that will give us 48. And if you add 8 plus 6, that should give us 14. And if we multiply 8, that is 8. If we multiply the 2, we get 48. Let's see what we get, the final product of this. So we get this is equals to x squared, that is 8x squared plus 14x plus 6. So you say now, these two numbers are going to have helped us to expand. That is 8 multiplied by 6 is 48, and 8 plus 6 is 14, which we have obtained here. So this means that when you are expanding a quadratic expression where coefficient of x is not equals to 1, it is easier. You'll be able to do that when you multiply the coefficient of x squared multiplied by x, you get 48. You get the product. Then you get two numbers such that these two numbers that we have expanded, that we have obtained, are the ones that when you multiply you get 48. So that is how you expand. So let's do another example and see what we get. So this is another example that I want us to do, just expansion to understand the process. So we have 3x minus 2, you close the bracket, and we have 2x plus 3. We can say plus 3. So we want to expand that. So the process here is you multiply 3x multiplied by 2x, that is going to give us 6x squared. 3x multiplied by 3, that is going to give us plus 9x. Then minus 2 multiplied by 2x, that is going to give us minus 4x. Then we have minus 2 multiplied by 3, and that is going to give us minus, not minus 3, but minus 6. So here we have two numbers. You note that okay, our next step should be we get 6x squared, then 9 minus 4x is the same as plus 5x, and finally we have minus 6. Something very interesting here. You note that if we multiply 9 multiplied by minus 4, if we add 9, 9 you add to minus 4, that is giving us 5. What about if you multiply 9 multiplied by minus 4 that is giving us 36. But we don't have any 36 here. So you note that if we multiply 6 times 6, this 6 times 6, it is going to give us 36. So what is the reverse of, so suppose you are given this expression and you are required to factorize, that is to take it back there. So what you do is you get two numbers, you multiply 6 times 6, you get the product, which is minus 36. This is minus. So you get two numbers such that when you add them, you get this number here, and when you multiply the two numbers, you get the product of the coefficient of x squared, the product and the constant, which is minus 36. So that is how you factorize. So you can see the process. So we are going to do one more example and see whether we will be able to tackle the other questions that we are going to do. In this example, we are going to expand this 3x minus 2. We put the bracket, and we also expand 2x minus 3. So that is our factors. So what we do here is we are going to multiply 3x multiplied by 2x, and that is going to give us 6x squared. Then we multiply 3x multiplied by 3, and that will give us minus 9x. Then from there, we are going to multiply 2 multiplied by 2x, that is going to give us minus 4x. And we multiply 2 multiplied by 3, minus 2 multiplied by minus 3, that will give us positive 6. So that is our expansion. So you note that we have these two numbers here, which we have here 4 and 9. Minus 9 and minus 4. If we multiply 6 multiplied by 6, that will give us 36. So what about these two numbers? If you multiply 9 times minus 9 multiplied by minus 4, it will also give us 36. 36. What about if you add? It is going to give us minus 9 minus 13x. So let's see what we get from our expansion. We will be able to see that this is the same as 6x squared minus 14x. Not minus 14, but that is minus 13x. That's correction, plus 6. So you note there is a relationship. When you add these two numbers, you get 13, which we have here. When you multiply this, the product, the 6 and 6, you get 36, which is the same as the product of 9 multiplied by 4. It is the same as 36. So what is the process of factorizing when we are given that? So what we look for is that we say to factorize. Let's put that statement down. To factorize, what we need, that is ax squared plus bx plus c. When a is not equals to 1, get two numbers. You get two numbers, a and b, such that a plus b is equals to a plus b is equals okay, we should have taken other numbers, so let's correct that. So this is what we say. So we say to factorize ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is not equals to 1, we get two numbers, m and n, such that m plus n is equals to b, and m multiplied by n is equals to ac. So that is a process. So let's now go to the application part of this and see how we factorize a quadratic expression. So here is an example. So we say example. We are required to factorize. Then we have a quadratic expression, that is 2x squared plus 3x minus, we can say minus 2. So how do we factorize this? To be able to factorize this, we have said that we need two numbers such that so we multiply 2 multiplied by minus 2, that is going to give us minus 4. So what we have said is that we get two numbers, we can use a plus m, that should give us the coefficient of x, which is 3. When you multiply the two numbers, that is a multiplied by m, it should give us this product, which is minus 4. So we can check if we have, let's say we have 4 and minus 1. Let's try 4 and minus 1. When you add 4 plus minus 1, you get 3. When you multiply 4 multiplied by minus 1, you get minus 4. So these are the numbers that we need. So we now come and rewrite our expression. Our expression is 2x squared. Instead of 3, now we say it is 4x minus x. That is the same as 3x, which we have here. Then we had that is minus 2. From there, we are going to factor out what is common here. So we factor out 2 is common. We also have x is common. So here you will be left with x, 1x, because when you open that bracket, 2x multiplied by x, that should give you 2x squared. Then here we have 2. We factor out from 4. We get this is the same as we are left with 2, because 2 multiplied by 2x multiplied by 2, you get 4x. Here we have a minus x and minus 2, so we can factor out minus 1. here we will be left with x plus 2. Always note that you ensure that what is left inside the bracket is the same. Then from there, to make it to let you make to make you understand better, let's say we have let a or let not use that, let k is equals to x plus 2. So we can come and replace here 2x multiplied by k, and we have minus 1k. So we can factor out k here, and we say once we remove k, we'll be left with 2x minus 1. So when we, because we have said k is equals to x plus 2, we just replace our k. So this is x plus 2, that is k, that is our k, and with that then we have 2x minus 1. So that is how you factorize. I hope it is becoming clear and clear. So but when you are, once you get used, you don't need to to put that statement, this statement, because you have this is just to make you understand how we are factoring out what is common in this particular case. So let's go and do another example to understand this better. So this is another example. So we factorize. We have our expression is 5x squared. We have minus 21x, and we have plus 4. So we want to expand to factorize this. So we have said the procedure is you multiply 5 times 4. So 5 multiplied by 4, you get it is 20. Once you get that, you get two numbers, a plus b should give you the coefficient of x, that is minus 21. Then when you multiply them, a multiplied by b should give you 20. You see here we have the product of 5 and 4. So we can try two numbers. We can say 20 minus 20 and minus 1. When you add minus 20 minus 1, you get minus 21. When you multiply minus 20 multiplied by minus 1, you get 20, which we have got here. So with that, we can go ahead and expand. So this is what we and factorize rather, sorry for that. So this is what we do. We write 5x squared. Instead of 21, now we write minus 20x minus x, that is 1x, and we say it is plus 4. So once we get there, then it is easy for us to factorize that, and we'll be able to factorize what is common here. What is common? 5 is common in 5x squared and 20, and also x is common. So inside the bracket, we will be left with not 5 but x. Then here we will be left to, when you factor out 5 from minus 20, you will be left with 4, like that. Here we have minus x plus 4. So because we want what is to be left inside the bracket to be the same as this one, so what we do is we factor out minus 1, and that is going to help us to make x to be positive and 4 to be negative. If you open the bracket, you'll be able to get minus x, minus 4 times minus 1 is positive 4. So we have not changed the expression. So we factor out what is common here, and that we should be able to get x minus 4 is common, and what we are left with is 5x minus 1. So that is how you factorize that, and I hope you have understood the procedure. But rather, we are going to do several examples to help you get the concept. Example, we factorize. So we are given the expression minus 21x squared plus 58x minus 21. So like we have said, what we do is we multiply minus 21, multiply by minus 21, and that should give you, when you multiply that, you should be able to get 441. Once you get that, we need two numbers, a plus b should be equals to 58, and a multiplied by b should give us now 441. So I hope you understand how to go about that. We can be able to get that. Maybe we try to factorize 441. So 441, so that we see whether we will be able to identify the numbers. So if you divide by 3, that will give you 147. Let's divide by 3 again. We will be able to get 49. Let's try that. 49 times 9 is 441, and 49 plus 9 is 58. So I think that will work. So once we take 49 and 9. So once you do that, then you can be able to express your quadratic expression minus 21x squared. Instead of 58, now we say it is plus 49x plus 9x, and then finally we have minus 21. So we factor out what is common with that, which we'll be able to say here, and we have 7 is common, so 7, and x is common, so we factor out. We can factor out minus 7, so that we are left with, this will be 3x, and here it will be minus 7, because minus 7 multiplied by minus 7 is 49. Then here, what is common? Let's factor out 3. Here we'll be left with 3x minus 7. Always remember that whatever you factor here, you let it, what is inside the bracket, be the same, so that you can be able to factor out, and therefore we will be able to get this will be, we factor out 3x minus 7. You close the bracket, and we have minus 7x and then plus 3. So if you expand this, you should be able to go back to our expression here. So that is how you factorize that. So when you have a big number, try to factorize it, and it will be easier for you to identify the numbers. Some numbers like 441, it is not easy to get that offset. So that is the method that we use to help us identify these two numbers. Another example here, we are going to factorize 25x squared minus, we say minus 5 over 2x, and we have plus 1 over 16. This one deals with the fractions. It's dealing with fractions, but you follow the same procedure. So you multiply 25, you multiply by 1 over 16, and that should give you 25 over 16. Once you do that, get two numbers. M, when you add to n, should give you minus 5 over 2. And when you multiply m, you multiply by n, you should be able to get 25 over 16, the product we have got here. So what we do, I'm going to try maybe minus 5 over 2 let's try minus 5 over 4, because here we can see we have 25 and 16. You multiply by minus 5 over 4, and that should give you 25 over 16. What about when you add minus 5 over 4 plus minus 5 over 4? That is going to give you minus 10 over 4, which is equals to, we simplify, minus 5 over 2. So these two will work, and therefore we now come and rewrite our expression here and say this expression is the same as 25x squared. Then we have minus, instead of 5 over 2, we say it is minus 5 over, that is, we say it is minus 5 over 4x minus, because we have seen when you add this, you get minus 5 over 2, 4x, and then we have plus 1 over 16. So once you write that, you factor out what is common here. And you can see here we can factor out 5. Let's try and factor out 5x. So you'll be left with 5 here, 5x. This is 1 over 4. And here we can factor out, that is, we can factor out 1 over 4. So we say, and the minus 1 over 4. So when you factor out minus 1 over 4, here you'll be left with 5x. And here, when you factor 4, you'll be left with minus 1 over 4. So that you get that. Now you can you can factor out 5x minus a quarter. You put that in bracket. And you also get, you will be left with 5 x minus a quarter. So they are the same. You can write this as 5x minus a quarter into bracket squared. So you can write that, because this we call them repeating factors. You can combine them. So that's how you do that. And I hope those are questions I've given you enough practice and you have understood the process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 or 3 questions from the past KCSE papers, so that you can see how you can be tested in this area of factorization. So let's do that. So this is another example. This question was tested in 2013. That is paper 1, number 4. And we are told simplify the expression. Simplify the expression. So we are given 16m squared. Then we have minus 9n squared. You divide by, then we have 4m squared. Then we have minus mn, and you minus 3n squared. Now, for us to be able to do that, this question, then what we need, let's look at the numerator. The numerator, we can write it as 4m into bracket squared. That is the same as 16m squared. Minus, this can be written as 3n into bracket squared. Why am I doing that? So that I will be able to utilize the difference of 2 squares. Now, the denominator, we need to multiply. Let us multiply. We multiply 4 multiplied by, since we have 2 unknowns here, we consider n as a constant. So we multiply by 3n squared. So this will give us 12 minus 12n squared. So you need to get 2 numbers. That is a plus b should give you what we have here. That is minus n. And a multiplied by b should give you minus 12n squared. So we can try minus 4n and 3n. If you multiply minus 4n times 3n, you get minus 12 squared. If you add minus 4n plus 3n, you get minus n. So that is what we need. So we come here and rewrite our expression and say this is the same as 4m squared. Instead of now minus mn, we write 4mn, then plus 3mn. That is the same as minus mn. and we minus 3n squared. So with the numerator, this is a difference of 2 squares, so we can write it like this. So we say it is 4m plus 3n and into bracket, that is 4m not 3, 4m minus 3n. If we expand that, you still get to what we have up there. And this now we factor out what is common here. So we factor 4m, we will be left with m here, and here we will be left with the this is n, because we have factored 4m. We close the bracket. We factor out what is common here. We can factor out plus 3n. So this will give us m minus n. So that is what we get when you factorize. You now combine the the numerator will still remain the same. So it is 4m plus we have 4m plus 3n, and we have 4m minus 3n. So that the numerator, we factor out m minus n, and we will be left with 4m plus 3n. So at this point, you realize that we can be able to cancel that, divide 4m and 4m plus 3n with 4m plus 3n, you get 1. So we cannot change what has remained, and therefore we get our answer should be equals to 4m minus 3n, you divide by m minus n. So that's how you are supposed to do that, and you get 3 marks. Another KCSE question is the one tested in 2010. That was paper 1, and it was question number 12. So it says simplify the expression. Simplify the expression. So the expression is x squared. Then we have plus x. Then we have minus 4xy, and we have minus 4y. You divide by, we have x plus 1, and we have 4y squared minus xy. So that this question, you can be able to do this. This is by simply saying, it is even easier. That question was given 3 marks, so these are 3 marks. It is easier because you already, this one, the numerator is expanded, so we can be able to factor out x in the numerator. So we will be left x plus 1. So that is what here we factor out minus 4y. We will be left with x minus 1. So that is the numerator. You divide by x plus 1, and 4y squared minus this is xy. So we can now go ahead and say we combine the numerator. We factor out x minus 1, and we'll be left with x minus 4y. The denominator, we have this is x. This is supposed to be positive because we factored out that, so that is supposed to be positive. So we have x plus 1, and we have 4y squared. That is 4y squared minus xy. So when you do that, so you can divide this x plus 1 divided by that. You can be able to do that. And since there is nothing else we can factor out in the numerator, which can help us to, okay, let's see. We can say x minus 4y. Then denominator we factor out y. Let's factor out minus y. We will be left now. This will be negative and that will be positive. So we will be left with x minus 4y, which is the same as the numerator, and we can cancel that, meaning that our answer now will be able to get minus 1 over y. So that is the farthest you can go. We cannot simplify any further. So that by doing that, you earn yourself 3 marks. So that is the application. Remember, paper 1 comes from Form 1 and Form 2 work. So you should be able to apply this in Form 4 work. And this is what is going to help you in paper 1. So it is good to be to work hard in Form 1 and Form 2 topics. Now that brings us to the end of our lesson. You can check for more questions from my topic, revision of KCSE algebraic expression. If you don't get it, you can always tell me to send it to you through my email or my WhatsApp number. So after this, I want to give you an exercise, some questions you can practice on, and once you are through, you can send them to me. I'll have a look at them, then I'll be able to advise you whether you get them correctly or not. So let's go and write a few exercise questions. So we say factorize the following expressions. So we have number 1. You can try, this is 2x squared. Then we have 2x squared. We have plus 16x, and we have plus 24. So that's one of them. You can try this one. We have 2x squared. Then we have plus 3x, and we have minus 2. We have number 3. This you'll be able to factorize number 3, 5x squared minus 21 x plus 4. So you can do that. Let me give you add you some 2 questions from the KCSE past papers. So these questions are from KCSE past papers. So this is for 2000 paper 1. Question number 2, you are told simplify the expression. Simplify the expression. The expression is 3a squared plus 4ab plus b squared. You divide by 4a squared plus 3ab and then minus b squared. So with what we have learned, you should be able to do that, and that's the first one. We have the number 2. This was tested in 2002. So 2002 paper 2 question paper 2 question number 11. Number 11. So we are told simplify the expression. Simplify the expression. This is 4x squared minus y squared. All this is divided by 2x squared. Then we have minus 7xy, and then we have plus 3y. So these 2 questions, I've already done these questions in my revision of KCSE in my YouTube channel and in my website, Teacher wa Mtaani Academy, so you can visit there in case you don't get the solution, or you can even tell me to guide you on how to get that. I'll be able to send you the link required to do that. So that brings us to the end of our lesson. I hope you have enjoyed, and welcome to the next lesson, which will be on quadratic equations. We will learn how to solve quadratic equations using the knowledge that we have learned, that is the factorization. We call it solving quadratic equations by factorization or factorization method. So let's meet as we move on. So we have two parts remaining. We have solution, solving quadratic equations, and forming formation of quadratic equations, and that topic will be through. You'll be able to see the whole topic concerning quadratic expressions and equations 1. Remember, in Form 3, you have quadratics, expressions, and equations 2. So it is good whether you advance knowledge on quadratic expressions and equations. So thank you for watching. Let's meet in our next lesson.